All right. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everyone? My name is Courtney Martinelli, and I'm here with one of my bestie yoga partners, Victoria. Hi,
Good
Victoria. Good
morning.
morning. Today, we're going to be talking about transformation and living into our purpose.
Yeah.
So, there are two kinds of people in the world. And this actually has been heavily studied and proven by Dr. David Hawkins. Do you love Dr. David Hawkins, right? Love
Yes,
him.
absolutely.
Love him. So he says there's one type, which are those who came to grow, to teach, to inspire, to lead, to expand beyond their comfort zone,
Mhm.
and most importantly, to make a difference in the world, right? And then the second group are those who came here to play it safe. And let's be real, we're not talking to that second group here today. We're talking to the people that want to grow, expand, transform, live their best lives. And so Victoria is definitely one of those people,
Mm,
right? Here to make
yes.
an impact.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I know for both of us, yoga teacher training, or what they like to call on the streets, YTT, on the yoga streets, they call it YTT. It's so funny, Victoria. I was actually in Reiki Master training this weekend, and I said YTT, and they were like, "What is that?" And I realized, okay, yeah, not everybody knows what that acronym is. Yoga teacher training, right? A 200-hour program. That was the biggest catalyst, I think, for both of us in kind of like living our unicorn lives right now.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to ask you, talk to you about that and what led you to your yoga teacher training.
I mean, simply, I was living that simple, like that safe life, like just, going through the motions and living life. I was bored. It was like mundane. I was like not in great relationships. And um, I loved yoga. I loved practicing. It was a way to work out that didn't really feel like I was working out, and I just enjoyed my practice a lot. It really took me much more than just the asana. And then it was, I think, very similar to your story. A very dear friend of mine told me, she's like, you're going to teach yoga. Like, you're definitely going to be teaching yoga. And I was just like, I don't want to stand in front of people. Like, no, like I am, that's not what I'm going to do. Like, if I take my yoga teacher training, it's for my own spiritual journey, which I did eventually end up taking my yoga teacher training. Um, for my own spiritual training, my own spiritual growth. And once I was going through it, I had my friends that were like, okay, well, show us what this yoga is. Like, they didn't know, I didn't realize that, like, it was such a big part of my life, my practice, and
Mm.
what I did. And then people in my life were like, okay, well, show us. Like, if you're taking this yoga teacher training, teach us. So I ended up just kind of started like, of course I had my demos that I had to teach for my YTT. And it was really way more impactful and powerful than I had even expected. I still didn't really think I was going to be teaching. But
Right.
here I am all these years later, and it's like, I
Well,
love it. And there's been times even after my yoga teacher training that I was like, I don't know if I should be teaching, but I would sub, I would help out like in studios and stuff. But every time after I got done teaching, there was this like fire in me that was just like, yes,
mm.
like it felt like that passion, and it was like, this is what I belong. This is exactly what I need to be doing. Like there was no question.
Well, let me ask you about that because I think that is one of the misconceptions of, well, there's lots of YTT, but I think one is that you have to teach because you and I both believe, and the program that we run is, it's about transformation, it's about
Absolutely.
community, it's
Absolutely.
about, you're going to grow and you're going to be different. I always say it's like my life before YTT and my
Mhm.
life after YTT, right?
Yeah.
It gives you confidence, it gives you fire, it gives you. But I
Mhm.
think it's interesting to note that both you and I are introverts,
Mhm.
and we are up in front of people because we want to serve and make a difference in the
Mhm.
world. And so it's not about us, it's about, you know, what how can we speak faith into people? How can we help other people's journeys? How can we help other people grow? And you talked about that. Like I think that's what you meant when you said there was like a fire in me afterwards. Like right afterwards, do you
Yeah.
not feel like most, this is what I say. I feel most alive
Mm-hmm.
after like teaching like a yoga class, right? And why, how
100%.
is that after as an
Mm-hmm.
introvert? Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's good for people to know out there that maybe that could be them too.
Yeah, and I think it's most importantly like it's about like what what has helped you in your life? What tools have helped serve you in your purpose and your journey that has made you helped you overcome situations, whether it's, addiction or, just depression or anxiety, like anything like that. If there's tools that have helped you, you're not alone. And there's so many other people that need that too. And whether they vocalize it, whether they know it or not, like being able to share
Mm,
those things with people, I think
yeah.
is like I got chills because that is what
Yeah.
that's why I do this. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like as a yoga teacher, you are armed with just a bunch of tools that you didn't have before you walked into that class. Like
Yes.
that $200 is like you come in as like one person and you leave a different
Mm,
person
totally.
like like a badass, like a
Yes.
unicorn, like ready. And it doesn't mean that in a formally or informally you could be teaching. Like informally, you could be making a difference.
Hmm.
I want to share a story because you shared a story because I remember I was a yogi. I was a yogi. I was sitting in the back of the room for years, right? I'm in the back of the room with my mat. And somebody came up to me after class. Her name was Shari. Like shout out to Shari if she's watching this. She came up to me and she didn't know me. I had never even had a conversation with her before. And she just looked me right in the eyes and she said, "One day you're going to be an amazing yoga teacher."
Mm.
I never even talked to her about that. And I don't know what she picked up on from me being in the back of the class. But, if you're out there listening to this right now, like, can Victoria and I just like speak some faith into you right now
Mm.
that you can you can make a difference in the world. Like even if it's just in your little circle, your family, the people you work with, like the better and higher your vibration is, the more impact you can make into the world. So, yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I would call out one other really big thing about RYTT in particular. Victoria teaches she's the lead teacher. We
Mm.
have we have about 12 other teachers, so you get to learn from like 12 other, ninja skills from 12
Mm.
other experts. But I think community is a big part of it. That's what we've heard from, all the people that love our yoga teacher training program is that now these people are their family. Now they have these people to lean on to. Now they have these people to like-minded people that they can talk to. Because I think when bad things happen, contrast and that we're human, so that's going to happen. Instead of retreating, you have these people to lean on, and I think that's a big piece of it. Are you like still like besties with people that you went through your YTT? I mean, it was like family to you.
Yeah, I think that there's always going to be a connection and a bond with those people, but there is, like you said, like because we have our lives, right? And our families and our jobs and whatever, but then you have this group of people that understand this whole part of you that you almost feel like I think a lot of people live in this like two lives type thing, you know what I mean? They have
Mm.
like this life that they live, but then they have this whole spiritual life, you know what I mean? This yoga, this, things that really helps them understand different things in life, but they can't always share that with their family and their coworkers
Mm.
and stuff like that. So it's nice to have that group of people to fall back on, and those bonds that are created in yoga teacher training are just, yeah, magnificent, and they're lifelong.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because it is kind of funny because I've been now on this journey for like 15 years and there's a point in time where then that flips, it like becomes inverted. Like now that just is my life. Like, you know what I
Yes,
mean? Like,
exactly. I totally
but when you
agree.
start off, you're
Hmm.
like, okay, okay, okay. Like I'm ready for something new.
Hmm.
And not everyone around you is ready for something new.
Right.
And so they might not be wanting to have those conversations with you, right? They might even be holding you back a little bit, like that
Hmm.
group number two, like they're just okay in their comfort zones.
Yeah.
So it's so nice that you can have people that are on a similar journey as you.
And to
And
help
then I'm
support you.
yeah, they'll support you. And I'm telling you, then eventually what happens is then it becomes inverted. It's like that is your life. Like it's
100%.
like, yeah, and then people are seeking you out to
Hmm.
be that support and like-minded because they don't have anyone, right? And so,
Right.
so
Yeah.
glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. And it is
Well,
so true. Hmm.
oh, is there anything else
That
you would
flip.
want to share about YTT, like with
Um,
the gang out there?
I think, and it's so much more than the asana practice. Like, yes, it does.
Wait, what's asana? Like some people don't even know
Ah,
what that is. Like when you say it's much more than the asana practice, they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
right. Yeah. So it's much more than just the poses, the postures, the movement. You go to a yoga class and you're doing these movements, plank, down dog, all that stuff. That's just one of 8 limbs. So if you're like, I don't know, I'm not into that stretching or whatever, it's not. Like, it is so much more than
It's
an
the greatest
life.
spiritual text that has ever lived, and you get to move through it. And then at the end, have a certification to teach people, right? Like, let's
Right.
not forget about that. Like,
Yeah.
our program is Yoga Alliance approved. So at the end, you will also walk out of the room if you want to, being a badass yoga teacher
Mhm.
ready to
Absolutely.
share it with the world.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. Thank you for bringing up the 8 limbs and how it is so much more than just the movement in yoga. Cause
Mhm.
I think that's important to know. And I think I think our program's a little bit unique. So we attract different people, we attract a different kind of person, one that really is ready to like transform and grow and
Mhm.
expand and make a difference in the world. And I
Yes.
think a lot of times people will say to us, well, I've only been to, in our last group, I've only been to like 4 yoga classes in my whole life. And
Yeah.
that might sound crazy to somebody listening to this, but it doesn't sound crazy to us
Mm-mm.
because we know that we're attracting people that want to transform and grow. And so through the avenue of this amazing spiritual practice, which is called yoga. I always say like yoga is not a 60-minute class, right? Yoga
No,
is not a
no.
60-minute class. And so that's not what we're teaching here.
It's a
So
lifestyle. It's a lifestyle,
lifestyle
100%. And
girl.
if you're feeling
Yeah.
stuck or anything and that, like, just I need something different in my life, because that's where I was a lot. Like, it was just mundane
Mm.
and I was bored and like, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, that's where I was at. And it was like, whoa, like, you're right. Like, yoga teacher training was like, psh, changed my
Yeah.
life.
Before and after, before
Yeah.
and after. Well, luckily for people who want to, enhance their own secret sauce, create their own unicorn lives, we have a YTT coming up. And if you want to join me and Victoria, reach out in the comments or find us at shineohio.com.
Yeah.
Much love to you, Victoria.
All the love.
All the love. I'll see you soon, girl.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.